What is up, guys? CM back again with another World of Tanks video for you guys. Today, another tank review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Super Hellcat, and you're going to see already that I've got a comparison with the Tier 6 Hellcat, and there's a reason for that. Now, the Super Hellcat was given away as a reward tank for having your World of Tanks account for a number of years, and it's a tier 7 version of the Hellcat, what can I say? So I 3-marked this thing recently. The game is not that you're gonna see after this little comparison. It's not the 3-mark game, but it is something that I want to show that will demonstrate what you can use this tank for. Because a lot of people will try and do one of two things with the Hellcat, and that applies to both the Super Hellcat and the regular one. They'll either be really over-aggressive, or they'll be way too passive. Now, I'm going to start by comparing these two. Now, the gun is very similar on both tanks. And on the Super Hellcat, you get marginally more base pen. You get 167 pen versus 160. But on APCR, your premium ammo... Now, I'm not saying HE because the HE is the exact same. But on APCR, yeah, the APCR on the Super Hellcat, the tier 7 one, is worse than on the tier 6 one. Yeah, it's 33mm less pen. Okay, wargaming, sure. And the gun handling is marginally better on the tier 7 one. You actually have noticeably better gun handling when moving and turning the turret. To be honest though, this is not a huge deal, as a lot of the time when you're taking shots, you're doing it from cover where you want to be giving yourself plenty of time to aim in the first place anyway. So this is not a huge deal here in this case. This is not something that you'll really pay much attention to in practice, as far as I've found. One weird aspect though, that again doesn't make much sense, is one of them has 17 degrees of elevation, that's the tier 7. The other has 20. Yeah, I don't get that either. They're literally the same tank. I don't know why the tier 7 has less gun elevation. Well, moving on. Mobility, practically speaking, you're going to find them basically the same, with the exception of the reverse speed. The hulls will turn at a very similar rate in practice, and the turret does turn marginally quicker on the tier 7, but again, not to like a degree that you will notice it. And acceleration, you'll notice, is basically the same in a straight line, but one thing you will notice is the reverse speed. The reverse speed on the tier 7 is slightly better. You can see there 20 kilometers an hour reverse speed on the Super Hellcat versus 12 on the regular Hellcat. Armor is obviously non-existent on both. Obviously the tier 7 has more hit points. One thing to note, however, is that for literally no reason, the tier 6 has an insanely weak engine. I've had the engine knocked out with a single shot so many times in the tier 6. Because I've been 3-marking that over the last few days as well. Basically started 3-marking that as soon as I finished 3-marking the tier 7. And camo is marginally better on the tier 6, not by a whole lot. And radio range is better, which is, again, not really a huge deal. So, very fast, very mobile. DPM is kind of meh for a TD. Pen is kind of mediocre at best. For the tier 7, certainly. However, it's still 240 alpha, which is still not bad. Most tanks that you're going to be fighting will feel that for sure. And being a 90mm gun, it's not too bad at tracking either. Now, one huge downside to both of these tanks, and you'll notice this in the gameplay, is that they both only carry 30 shells. That's why when I've actually been 3-marking both of these, I've pretty much just gone full APCR. Because there's going to be a lot of situations where you're going to need to be able to pen every single shot. Even if not marking, like if you're just wanting to like win a good proportion of matches, a good number of matches, yeah, you're gonna want that pen. Anyway, this is a match I had on Malinovka that I feel perfectly demonstrates the mobility of this tank. So, we're in a tier 7 game. We are only fighting tier 6s and 7s. So this is actually the ideal matchmaking for 3 marking either the tier 6 or tier 7, as far as my experience goes. Enemy OI camping the base. The gun, you will always find, will fail on you at some of the weirdest moments. I had those shots. The gun just planted them both into the rock. Some easy shots on the VK here, however. No idea what this guy is doing. Don't know why he's going way out into the middle of the map in a VK-36 when, yeah, there's light tanks and tank destroyers in bushes. Yeah, well, there goes his game. Getting a nice shot on the Panther here. That's a tracking shot right there. Don't know how he didn't spot me, but I'll take it. And then we get a free shot on this VK as well, while we're unspotted. Try and get the shot on the Panther. We go for the blind shot. As far as I remember, that one didn't hit. Looking for the blind shot on the OI. Now, this is actually something I should have just ignored, because I should have known that 30 shells, I couldn't really afford a blind shot like this too much. Though that one did hit, that one went in. Slightly weird play from our KV3 there. Don't really know why he's going into the middle of the map like that. But, games have been weird lately, so people have been doing that. Unfortunately, Artie does slap me. I don't have my medkit, but fortunately I get to aim just enough on that P43 that I can still somehow get the shot. Enemy T78 gets slapped by our Stuart Emil there for over 500. And the P43 gets taken out by Artie. Already 3-0, but this match is, spoiler alert, going to be very close. Enemy KV3 climbing the hill, along with the other KV3. Our IS is already on the hill. And our KV3 is gonna die. So that's kind of what happens when you go there in a KV3. You do nothing, you die. RNG gonna screw me over here. Yep. Accurate gun. With the crew and setup that I had, this gun had about 0.32 accuracy, 0.31 maybe. And, yeah, accurate my ass. And you're going to see this later on. We are going to get absolutely screwed by RNG quite a bit. Yeah, that was only the gun barrel on that wheelie right there, on that AMD. It's not the. This is, of course, not the only tank that suffers from having a low shell capacity. The Stuart Emil, of course, does as well, as I think the Dicker Max does as well, and actually the IS-7. There's tanks at all tiers that have this arbitrary limitation on shell count, which is, well, I say arbitrary. It's from when Wargaming were going full historical on everything, which they do try and get things historical, but at the same time, historical ammo counts are not good for the game balance overall. I don't think you should be running out of shells, but that's, you know, another question for another day. P43 takes out the wheelie there. KV2 holding off against the enemy heavies and the Panther as well. P43 best going to help him. You can see we're trying to relocate a lot, try and get shots as often as possible from bush cover. At this point, however, I feel like, okay, I need to go middle, try and get shots either towards the hill or spot things. You do actually have reasonably good view range in this thing. I think it's about 370 base, which is not bad for a TD, and it's the same with the tier 6 as well. Now, I went full try-hard loadout. I had the Bond optics on this thing, as well as food. Very good crew that had Brothers in Arms and all the view range skills, and partial camo as well, partial repairs. So, yeah. Here we actually take a shot where we need to be using our mobility immediately after, so we assassinate the T-78 there and we run away because we knew he would spot us there. So we were not able to get the shot through the bush, but instead while we were in it, so it didn't provide any extra camo. Two of the arty fire artists, they both miss, that's good. Unfortunately, our P-43 dies to the Panther, but not before making him weak. And the T-50-2 goes to try and finish him off. Artie tried, but they all missed. Unfortunately, didn't get the splash on him. Now, I go up to try and help the T-50-2. So I expect the Jagdpanther to be not too far behind. And I want to be able to keep that light tank in the match. At this point, it's a little bit of a mistake. I went straight forward instead of trying to go up the hill. If I had gone up the hill, then I would have been able to fight the Jagdpanther. This is what we're going to see shortly, is that the Jagdpanther is in fact not here. Spoiler, by the way. Instead, what I do is I head around, expecting the Jagdpanther to be at the church still. And of course, he is not there. So instead, I go into these bushes right here. The MAFB-304 is behind the Jagdpanther. I was expecting the KV-1S to go up the hill. We actually find the OI on low health, just over enough for one shot, but we could high roll. Unfortunately, we low roll. We leave him on 10 health. We do try one more blind shot right here, but unfortunately, it misses. And we cannot spot him again here. So, maybe a little foolish trying to blind fire here, but at the time I wasn't really paying as much attention to my ammo count as I should have been in this match, but you know, hindsight is 20/20. Moving back to the hill here, I do see the Jagdpanther trying to push forward. The KV-1S is in a very bad position now. And you're going to see why. It's because he's getting artied, and he's probably getting spotted by the enemy T-25-2, who has not been seen. Enemy arty finishes off our T-50. Now, I'm going up to try and stop the Jagdpanther from shooting at our KV-1S. Or to try and finish off the FB-304. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. I do ask the 40TP to move around a little more, like to try and relocate more here. So that shot goes into the gun mantlet of the Jagdpanther. I get a little distracted typing here, so I donk myself into the wall of the map. I then keep moving while I'm typing. I just say to him, you need to move more. And like, yeah, he's slow, but that's what he needs to be doing in a medium tank, no matter the mobility. He needs to be relocating a lot. So we got lucky and already missed. We got a little bit of spotting on the Jagdpanther thanks to our own artillery. So I'm just chatting away with the 40TP, just casual, just saying, yeah, it's slow, but it doesn't really have the armor to be like that kind of medium heavy. Which is true, it doesn't really have particularly good armor. I'm now trying to relocate to try and spot other tanks that could be pushing through the middle here, or across onto the field, because we don't really have anyone there. That T-34-2G, by the way, the TD on the other side, we're going to be seeing more of him later from our team. He's really not done much. We spot the T-25-2. He does not spot us in return. We don't have the opportunity to take a shot, so we just get the spot off. Artie shoots him and we pull back. Relocating now to try and get another shot on the Jagdpanther in case he pushes. Unfortunately, our Suramil is spotted by the T-25-2 here, and he gets slapped by the FB-304, and that's a pen. Now, we know the Jagdpanther doesn't have good view range. His crew is not particularly good, so we try and shoot him. Unfortunately, that once again hits a bad angle and bounces, and we also get an unfortunate bounce off of the P-43, leaving us only on 8 shells left. You see what I mean about RNG being a big problem with tanks with low ammo count. Unfortunate bounces like that can really make it difficult to carry at times. Unfortunately, our 40 TP does get killed in a bad location. I didn't tell him where to go. I just said to him that he should be moving around and relocating more. He does say good luck to everyone. He's not frustrated at the team. He seemed like a good guy, the 40 TP. T25-2 gets spotted. I take the time and get the shot off at him. Low roll, unfortunately, but our RT mad at TDs, but I mean, we were outnumbered. What were we to do? Get a shot off at the P43 through the bushes before just chilling. RT gets a shot as well. Another one through a bush. I still don't get spotted here, but I don't reload in time to shoot him through that tree, so I just take the shot, kill him, and then run. And I do get really lucky because that Yak Panther shot, that hit the gun barrel. You can actually see right between the gun marks on the front there. That's where he hit. He doesn't bounce the second one, however. T25-2 does not have a shot at us, fortunately, so we are able to now go unspotted. RT misses, and we are now going to be able to get into some bushes in order to spot people. And we actually do spot the T25 again. We don't have a shot on him. He does pull back in time. We do spot the FE304, however, and he is not going to be able to see us, so yeah. Because RT and view range are two things that, yeah, they don't have. Now just looking for the T25-2 to see if he's going to push. As well as looking for the Yak Panther. I'm expecting the Yak Panther to go first. He's proved to be a bit more YOLO than the T25-2. A little more aggressive. Just pre-aiming where I think he's going to be. Unfortunately, he does kill our RT. Or he does spot our RT for enemy RT. We still see this T-34-2G not reacting in any way. I actually think he's AFK at this point, which I say to the team. Turns out, however, he is not AFK. We are going to be seeing him in a moment. Less than 2 minutes left, so I'm expecting that someone's going to rush now. There's the Yak Panther. Shoot him through the trees here. As soon as we get a shot. There it is, right into his side. T-25-2 doesn't have the top turret, so we know he's not got good view range, and he doesn't seem to have a good crew. Oh, he does have the top turret, never mind. Either way, he doesn't have a good crew. He might not even have optics, so he might have binos instead, so he had no chance of seeing us there. We finish him off. And that is it. That is all the shots fired. Now relocating to try and spot things for the T-34-2 GFT. But I'm not going to have to do so. Because, oh look, he woke up. Right at the end. The M12 in the open gets killed by him. And he's just W-keying. I actually felt like, I actually said, this was on stream as well, I actually felt like this guy was a bot. I actually said this on stream, I believe, and yeah, it felt like this T-34-2G was actually running a bot program, but it was really weird. He does go in to kill the OI here. There he goes, but unfortunately, he's not going to find the GW in time, and that's a draw right there. So, this match was about 3,000 damage, because we got a blind shot. And there we go, there's our 1190 spotting that we saw. Yeah, as far as I remember, this was an ace as well. I think it was around 11 to 1200 base XP. Does not take a lot to ace. TDs in general have fairly low base XP values for getting your ace tanker badge. But yeah, hopefully this match showed exactly what you can do with this thing in terms of relocating, in terms of getting around the map, and really what you want to be doing. And these tanks are really, really good at getting shots on enemies at angles that they might not be expecting. They might have been shot at in one direction, then if you can relocate quickly, you can get a shot at them from another. Of course, there are going to be times and maps where there are going to be like one static position that you can just stay in for the entire game. Minsk is one example of that. And I might actually just do a map guide for that at some point. Just so then you guys can see a couple of positions that I tend to use in my tank destroyers, and sometimes my lights and mediums if I'm 3-marking them. It depends what I'm playing, depends also on what I feel like is going to be most useful for the team. Usually my tank destroyers, though, I find on that map there's just 1 or 2 locations that I use. And certainly in the Hellcat, though, in tanks like this, you have the mobility to really get around on a lot of maps. You really want to be using it quite a lot, especially late game. If your team are winning, you're going to be wanting to, you know, push around to a corner very quickly that maybe an enemy's not watching, and then get a shot at them in the side or the rear. Definitely a very capable little tank, even though this one has less pen on APCR than the tier 6. It can still put out a good chunk of damage at unexpected angles, even against some tier 9s. I've certainly had some success with this thing. Although tier 9 is a struggle, +2 is a struggle for any tank. But they can deal with it fairly well, even though they've not got the highest pen for tank destroyers of their tiers. Purely for the power of their mobility and the fact they've got a turret, they can take a greater variety of angles than a lot of other tank destroyers in those tiers. So yeah, I kind of hope that Wargaming put this on sale. There's going to be a lot of people who don't have this thing. There are a lot of players that do have this thing as well. They gave it out to a lot of people. But for the people who don't have it, I would like to see this thing pop up in the premium store, maybe even the Bond shop. And although I would prefer the premium store, because I feel like the Bond economy is not particularly good if you're going for tier 7 or tier 8 vehicles. It's better if you're going for like the tier 10 ones, I would say. You're going to get a better value vehicle out of that overall, but that's a topic for another time. Anyway guys, hope you liked this little review. If you have this tank, let me know what you guys think of it, if you've played it a lot, if you have got it, or if you don't have it, then does this make you feel like you want it? If so, be sure to post on the forums or whatever, and let Wargaming know that you would actually really like to have this thing, you'd like to see more people have it, or anything like that. Either way, let me know your comments below. And if you want to see more of this, I do stream regularly at the moment, because I am as of recording on this, still on furlough because my work is shut during lockdown due to COVID. But you know, when I get back, when work opens, I'll probably be doing like 3 streams a week. But currently, I'm doing 5 Monday to Friday in the evenings from 8 PM UK time until midnight. So I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Although I know a lot of you who watch my content do already. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace out.